Welcome guys to my NFL Week 5 picks. Yes, we're 5 weeks into the NFL. Last week in Week 4 I did 11-5. My record last week was 11-5. I got 11 games right. Only lost lost 5 games, but my predictions were pretty good last week, I think, in my opinion. So we go on to our Week 5 picks. Last night's game, Broncos versus Colts. Well, I'm not having a good start here because I had the Broncos to win -3. And obviously, what happened. Hines had a concussion. It went to overtime. It was a bad game on prime time. Why the hell did we have the Colts versus the Broncos on prime time? Nathaniel Hackett is on prime time again, but we have the Colts on prime time with a washed-up quarterback. But the Colts got the win in overtime, and again, it's not a good start for me on the spread. So going on for the early Sunday games, we have the Giants versus the Packers. Super early again. It's one of those London games again. I'm going for the Giants win. Again, I'm really liking what Brian Daboll's doing in New York and what he's getting out of the shit he's got. You can see in a couple of years, maybe next season or the season after, if they continue with Brian Daboll, you can build something great if he has a quarterback. So I'm going to go for the Giants -8. Steelers versus the Bills. Kenny Pickett made his debut last week, but again, they still had this thing with how Trubisky start. Why the hell was Trubisky starting in the game? But Steelers are plus 14, and the Bills are at -14. Going -14 for the Bills. They had a good win last week. Came back from the loss the week before, and I just think the Bills are going to get a job done -14. So yeah, the Bills are going to beat the Steelers. Then we have the Browns versus the Chargers. I'm going to go for the Chargers -2.5 last week, even though they had these injuries and Joey Bosa was injured. Herbert was coming back from an injury. They still got the job done, and I think again, even the Browns, they don't have Deshaun Watson yet. I'm going to say that the Chargers get the win -2.5. Then we have the Jags versus the Texans. Lovie Smith still looking at first win of the season. Again, it is going to come at some point, but I think Doug Pearson, he had a great showing he had in Philly last week. I know he lost, but again, he put up a good fight against the Eagles. And I'm going to say the Jags get the win -7. Then we have a division game. We have the Bears football versus the Vikings. It's the battle of the NFC North between the Bears and the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell versus Matt Eberflus. I'm going to go for the Vikings. I look at the two new head coaches, Eberflus and O'Connell, and O'Connell's getting the best out of his team. You've got Matt Eberflus, who's an absolute idiot. Getsy, who's the play caller. Let's go for field goals, and we've got an okay defense, but we've got an offense from the 1930s, 1940s, whatever. But yeah, I'm going for the Vikings -7.5. Then we've got the Lions versus the Patriots. Oh god, that was a bad game last week with the Lions and the Seahawks. They let me down last week, the Lions. I said the last 2 weeks they let me down. I predicted the Lions for the last 2 weeks to get the win on the spread. So this week I'm saying again, and I'm going to go for Lions +3 against the Patriots. Again, the Patriots, I said last week, and I'm going to say most of the season, are gettable. And the Lions, even though we have Jared Goff as quarterback, and we don't have a good quarterback to throw to these good wide receivers that we have, like St. Brown and Williams, I still think we're going to get the job done against the Lions, against the Patriots. Then we have the Saints versus the Seahawks. Two teams that are mid. I'm going to say the Saints get the win -5.5. Dolphins versus Jets. Obviously, we know Tua is still recovering from concussion, so it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater starting at quarterback. Jets got a good win last week on the road against the Steelers. But I'm going to say Mike McDaniels gets another win, and I'm going for the Dolphins -3.5. Then we have the Falcons versus the Bucks. I'm going to go for the Bucks -9.5. Then we have the Titans versus the Commanders. I'm going to go for the Titans -1.5 and start Malik Willis as quarterback. And then we had the 49ers versus the Panthers. again, the 49ers had a good win on Monday night, but again, that was not down to Jimmy G. That was down to the defense and Comey Ryan and his play calling in that defense. So I'm going to go for a 49ers win, -6.5. But then we have the Eagles versus the Cardinals. I'm going to go for the Eagles -5. Great start to the season. The Eagles are having their 4-0. I'm going to say they're going to get 5-0. The Rams versus the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is still in, just so Cooper Rush is the starting quarterback in Dallas. I'm going to go for the Rams -5.5. Bengals versus the Ravens. The Bengals. I'm going to go for the Bengals plus the 3. And then the Monday night game. The Monday night game is the Raiders versus the Chiefs. I'm going to go for the Chiefs -7. And that is my picks for week 5 of the NFL. I'll have my picks like I did last week in week 4 in the comments. And peace, guys.